tonight. Tonight, President Biden upending the 2024 election by dropping out of the race and endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris.
That's right. And tonight, a long list of Democrats, including Governor Newsom, also throwing their support behind Harris. But the decision is still up in the air until next month's Democratic convention. Well, KCAL News political reporter Tom Waite is here. He's going to break down this historic decision. I'm going to say the same thing to you. What a day.
What a day. And can you believe how many of what a days we've had in this election cycle? There's been nothing like it.
Not like this one.
Not like this one. Certainly, this is the first time in history a president has pulled out at this stage in the campaign.
That's right.
Waiting for re-election. So, all right, here we go. The magnitude of this announcement cannot be overstated. The sitting president stepping aside in his re-election campaign with just 4 months until the vote. Also stunning how quickly top Democratic leaders are unifying behind Vice President Kamala Harris. President Biden made the historic announcement on social media, posting in part, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Shortly after the announcement, officials with the Democratic National Committee spoke out.
I am emotional about the president's decision because this president, Joe Biden, has been a transformational president. He's been a great leader. He's a good man, a decent man who has done so much for this nation, but so much to see us as people, to value us, to fight for us.
The president's decision to drop out of the race came several weeks after his terrible debate performance, followed by what became an avalanche of criticism, bad polls, and calls by dozens of Democratic lawmakers to step aside, including from party leaders like former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and California Senate candidate Congressman Adam Schiff. The president made the decision and the announcement while at his home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where he is recovering from COVID-19. Until even just hours before Biden made the announcement, his campaign was insisting he wasn't going anywhere.
The president has spoken to a number of elected officials, and he's heard the concerns from across the Democratic Party. But what the president has also heard is directly from voters.
After the president shared the news that he's dropping out, he gave his full support to Vice President Kamala Harris. Harris posted on social media a thank you to the president and said she is honored to have Biden's endorsement. Governor Newsom also weighing in, saying in a post on X, President Biden has been an extraordinary, history-making president. Former President Trump, and now the official GOP nominee for president, posted on his Truth Social that Biden's decision came after he was annihilated in the debate. Trump also calling Biden the worst president in history. But Biden's allies are praising his decision, including one of the president's closest allies, Delaware Senator Chris Coons, who was also a Biden campaign co-chair. Coons getting emotional in the wake of the announcement.
This was a very difficult decision, and one that I think reflects the very best of who Joe Biden is. The challenge of seeing this moment and of recognizing what was in the best interest of the nation was a significant challenge. I still believe he could have beaten Donald Trump, but I also know that what he's done today is in the best interests of our nation.
Harris is collecting, as we've said, some of the Democratic Party's biggest endorsements, Governor Newsom among them, also with top Democratic governors in battleground states. But ultimately, the party's delegates will have to vote to officially choose the nominee. Certainly right now, it looks like Harris has all of the momentum. We'll have to wait and see, though. Pat?
All right. Thanks so much for that, Tom. And we have